Does it ever feel like you're constantly chasing the feeling of enough, but it's always just out of reach? You hit a goal, the promotion, the new car, the praise you were working for, and for a split second, you feel complete. But that satisfaction is like mist. The moment you try to grab it, it vanishes, and a new, bigger desire takes its place. It's a cycle, right? It feels like you're on a treadmill, running and running, but never actually arriving anywhere peaceful. What if this endless chase isn't just ambition? What if that constant ache for more is a sign you're looking for happiness in all the wrong places? A wise monk wouldn't call this drive. He'd look at it with a gentle, knowing gaze and call it by its ancient name, lobha, or greed. He'd call it one of the 3 great mental poisons, a venom that clouds the mind and keeps us suffering. But here's the good news. He'd also tell you there's an antidote. There's an ancient path, a set of transformative practices that can turn that insatiable craving into a deep and lasting contentment. This isn't about crushing your desires, but about understanding them so well that they finally stop controlling you. This is the lesson of how to find true wealth, not in what you can get, but in what you can let go of. To understand this poison, we have to see it clearly. In Buddhist tradition, greed, along with hatred and delusion, are the 3 poisons at the root of all our suffering. The Buddha used the word tanha, which doesn't just mean greed, it means thirst or craving. Imagine being lost in a desert, totally consumed by a desperate, burning thirst. That's the energy of tanha. It isn't a gentle preference. It's an urgent, compulsive voice in your head that says, I need this to be happy. I need this to feel whole. This thirst shows up in all sorts of ways. It can be a craving for sensual pleasures, amazing food, luxurious comfort, physical intimacy. It can also be a craving for existence, the desire for fame, recognition, or a legacy that makes you feel important. And on a sneakier level, it can even be a craving for non-existence, that urge to escape pain, numb your feelings, or just disappear when things get overwhelming. The problem, as the monk would explain, isn't the desire itself. Desire is a natural part of being human. The poison is in the clinging, the mistaken belief that satisfying this thirst with something outside of ourselves will bring lasting peace. It's like trying to quench your thirst by drinking salt water. The more you drink, the thirstier you get. Every sip promises relief, but just digs the hole of dehydration and suffering a little deeper. This is the big lie of greed. It promises that happiness is just one more purchase, one more success, or one more compliment away. But it's a false promise, because it places our happiness in things that are, by their very nature, temporary and out of our control. Greed whispers that we're empty and need to be filled up. The monk's lesson is that we are already whole. We just need to dissolve the poison that's stopping us from seeing it. And this transformation doesn't start with a fight. It starts with a few gentle, profound practices. The most direct antidote to the poison of greed is practicing generosity, known as dana. Think of greed as a contraction, a clenching of the self. It's a mental fist built around the word mine, driven by a fear that there isn't enough to go around. Generosity is the exact opposite. It's an expansion. It's the heart opening up, recognizing that life is abundant, and acting from a place of, I have enough, not, I need more. And the practice of dana is so much more than just writing a check. It's about cultivating a giving spirit in everything you do. It's giving your undivided attention to a friend who's struggling. It's giving your time to help a neighbor with their groceries. It's giving a genuine compliment without expecting one back. It's even giving someone who frustrates you the benefit of the doubt. Every single act of giving, no matter how small, is a direct counterattack on the grasping mind. It's medicine that, dose by dose, loosens greed's grip. This teaches us that the power of generosity isn't in the size of the gift, but in the heart behind the giving. Are you giving freely, without expecting anything in return, not even a thank you? An offering from someone with very little that comes from a pure intention of selflessness can be more powerful than a grand donation from someone wealthy that costs them nothing. It's the purity of the giving, the selfless act itself, that truly matters. The goal is to give so freely that you don't even cling to the idea of yourself as a generous person, because that can become its own subtle form of greed for a positive self-image. So, how do we practice this in our modern lives, which are so obsessed with getting and keeping? Start small. Next time you're in line for coffee, maybe pay for the person behind you, no strings attached. When you feel the urge to scroll your phone while a loved one is talking, try offering the generosity of your full attention instead. When you declutter your home, don't just toss things out. Mindfully offer them to someone who needs them, and really feel the lightness of letting go. Each time you choose to give instead of take, you're staging a small rebellion against the tyranny of greed. You're training your mind to find joy not in having, but in giving. And in doing so, you start to uncover a wealth that can never run out. The second practice for dissolving greed is the profound contemplation of Anicca, or impermanence. Greed can only survive if we're tricked into thinking that the things we want are solid, stable, and can give us lasting happiness. We cling to our stuff, our status, our youth, and our relationships as if they're permanent. Contemplating impermanence is simply about seeing things as they really are, transient, fleeting, and always changing. When you truly get that everything is temporary, clinging to it starts to seem a little absurd. It's like trying to build a house on a flowing river, exhausting and pointless. This isn't meant to be a depressing thought. It's a radically realistic one that frees us from the anxiety of holding on so tight. When we know something can't last, we're free to appreciate it fully, right here and now, without being terrified of losing it. A powerful way to understand this is to consider the act of creation itself. Think about a project you poured your heart into, or a beautiful meal you cooked. The true value wasn't only in the finished product, it was in the mindful act of creating it. The lesson is in gracefully letting go. By understanding that everything, every object, every feeling, every moment is temporary, we learn that peace comes from accepting this natural flow, not from fighting it. The beauty isn't in keeping something forever, but in the mindful process of experiencing it and then releasing it. How can we practice this when we're constantly told to build, secure, and make things last forever? You can start by just noticing impermanence in your daily life. Watch the steam rise from your coffee and disappear. Watch a cloud morph across the sky until it's gone. When you feel a moment of joy, instead of grabbing it and fearing its end, just notice it. See it as a welcome visitor, knowing it will pass. When you feel a moment of sadness, instead of fighting it, recognize that it too is just a temporary guest. Think about the things you desperately wanted in the past. That phone you had to have 5 years ago, where is it now? That job title you coveted, did it bring you everlasting happiness, or did it just become the new normal? By watching our desires and possessions come and go, we weaken greed at its very root. We stop tying our happiness to things that can't last, and start finding it in the graceful dance with life as it is, always changing, always flowing. The third practice is the active cultivation of contentment, or Santutthi. In a world that screams that you're not enough, that you need to be thinner, richer, more productive, more popular, choosing to be content is a revolutionary act. Contentment isn't being passive or giving up on your goals. It's the joyful and mindful appreciation for what you already have. Greed runs on a scarcity mindset, that nagging feeling that something is missing. Contentment is the direct antidote, an abundance mindset, a deep thank you for the fullness of right now. The Buddha said, "Contentment is the greatest wealth." This is a game changer. It means a person with very little who is content is truly richer than a person who has everything but is always tormented by the desire for more. The hungry ghost of greed can never be full because its hunger is infinite. Contentment is the practice of realizing that for this moment, you have enough. It's a peaceful yes to your life, just as it is. This keeps you out of the 99 club, the mental trap where you might have 99 blessings in your life, but you're completely miserable because you're fixated on the one thing you don't have. You become so obsessed with getting that one missing piece to feel complete that you can't see the abundance already surrounding you. The chase for that final one robs you of the joy of the 99 you already possess. So many of us live there, ignoring the good all around us. The practice of contentment is your official resignation from this club. So how do you practice it? Start with gratitude. It's impossible to feel greedy and grateful in the same moment. The simplest way is a gratitude list. Each morning, before you grab your phone, take 2 minutes to list 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big. The warmth of your bed, the taste of that first sip of coffee, the simple fact that you are breathing. This practice literally retrains your brain's focus. When you feel the pull of a new desire, a new gadget, a fancier vacation, just pause and practice sufficiency. Ask yourself, right now in this moment, am I okay? Do I have what I need? More often than not, the answer is yes. By consciously resting in the feeling of enough, you create a space of peace that no external thing can ever give you. You discover that true wealth isn't in having more, but in wanting less. The final practice is a huge shift in perspective, turning your focus from yourself to others through compassion, or Karuna. At its core, greed is an extreme form of self-centeredness. Its inner monologue is all, what can I get? What do I need? What about me? This constant self-focus builds walls, isolating us from everyone. Compassion is the force that dissolves those walls. It's the genuine wish for others to be free from suffering, and it asks, what can I give? How can I help? By intentionally caring about the well-being of others, we naturally quiet down our own selfish desires. Greed shrinks our world down to the size of our ego. Compassion expands it to include every living being. It's the realization that we're all connected, all sharing the same basic desire to be happy and free from pain. When you're consumed by a powerful grief or a sharp envy, it feels incredibly personal and isolating. The practice of compassion asks you to look up and realize you're not alone. The loss you feel, the desire that gnaws at you, these are universal parts of the human experience. Recognizing that your personal pain is a shared condition is transformative. It can shift a desperate, selfish craving into a profound compassion for everyone who has ever suffered the same way. It moves you from asking, why me, to understanding, just like me. This shared humanity is the antidote to the isolation of greed. Shifting our focus from our own personal craving to our shared humanity can set us free. The next time you feel that sharp pang of envy or greed, when you see someone with something you desperately want, you can use that moment to practice compassion. Instead of feeding the thought, I want that, and I'm miserable that I don't have it, try a radical mental flip. Consciously think, may they be happy with what they have. May they be free from suffering. This is not easy. It feels totally unnatural at first because it goes against the grain of the conditioned mind, but it is so powerful. Try it in small ways. When someone gets the promotion you wanted, silently wish them well. When you see a couple that looks blissfully happy, instead of feeling a lack in your own life, offer a silent prayer that their happiness continues. This practice of mudita, or sympathetic joy, being happy for others' good fortune, is compassion's cousin and a direct enemy of greed. By wishing others well, you lose nothing. You simply free yourself from the prison of comparison and tap into a boundless source of well-being. If these lessons on transforming the chase into contentment resonate with you, consider subscribing for more wisdom on finding peace in our chaotic world. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Which of these 4 practices are you thinking of trying first? We've walked the monk's path, a journey that leads away from the desert of greed and toward the cool, clear spring of contentment. This is a path of transformation, not suppression. we've seen that the direct antidote to the clench of greed is the expansion of generosity. We've learned to undermine its foundation by seeing the truth of impermanence. We've discovered how to fill the void greed creates by cultivating joyful contentment. And finally, we've learned to dissolve the walls of the self by radiating compassion for others. Overcoming greed isn't a single battle you win. It's a gentle daily practice of reorienting your heart. Each time you choose to give, to let go, to appreciate, or to wish someone well, you're weakening the habit of grasping and strengthening the qualities of an open heart. Maybe the final lesson is this: that insatiable thirst for more doesn't come from a character flaw. It comes from looking for water in the wrong place. We've been looking outside ourselves, in things, achievements, and praise, when the wellspring of true peace has been inside all along. The goal isn't to have more, but to be more present, more connected, more generous, and more at peace. By embracing these ancient practices, you can finally end the chase and arrive home to the unshakable contentment that is your true nature.